Hi guys, let's find out how to use this Excel brick quantity calculator. Opening up the Excel template, you will see there are four worksheets. First one is called setup. This is where we have to set up our different brick types depending on your locality, and the project different wall types. The second sheet is called project data. This is basically our taking off spreadsheet. This is where we enter all the different walls in a project, length and height, as well as all the wall openings for doors and windows. And the next two sheets are currently empty, are our reports. The first one is a report based on wall types, and the last one is a report based on the different brick types. So let's get started with the setup sheet. As I said, depending on your locality, where you're from, you will have different bricks available to use. So this is where we set up all the different brick types available to us. First column, we set up, just type a brick type name, something that we can identify easily. So I've put T, 300, 300, 200, T for thermal. This brick has a width of 0.3 meters. Remember, it is important to always use same units, to be consistent with the units throughout the spreadsheet, and not use millimeters in one place and meters in another. So I'm going to be using meters for this example. So 0.3 is the width of my brick, 0.3 is the height, and the depth of the brick is 0.2. Material, let's say it's clay, and the density 1500 kilograms per cubic meter. My next brick is C for clay, 300 by 250 by 200. This is 0.3, 0.25 is the height, and 0.2 is the depth. Again, clay, and this one has a slightly larger density. So in this way, you input all the different brick types available to you. Most definitely you will do this once, and you will keep the same data for all your future projects. So let's go ahead and input a couple of brick types. I'm just gonna go ahead and enter all the data. So that's it. You can enter up to 25 different brick types. And now the next spreadsheet, the next table, is where we set up our specific project wall types. Let's do a couple together. So again, we need to give a unique identifier for our wall type. I'm going to name this E for external, 450. That's the overall width I want to achieve. Wall type, there are two types of walls you can select from the drop down: solid wall or cavity wall. Since this is an external wall, I'm going to use cavity wall. And number of brick layers or skins, if you want, how many layers of bricks are installed for this specific wall type. 2, one on the inside, one on the outside, with an air gap or insulation gap in the middle. Next column, we need to select the actual brick we're going to use for this wall. Again, there's a drop down, and the list displays all the bricks we have already set up in this table. So I'm going to use this type of brick, the 30 centimeters by 25 height by 20 depth. Now, installation method. Again, from the drop down, there's two options we can use: regular, and it shows here how the brick will be installed. 30 centimeters as a width, 25 centimeters as a height on our wall, and 20 centimeters will be the depth. If we select standing up, basically we are installing our brick using the depth of the brick as a height. as soon as I click standing up, you will see that the two values between height and depth will be reversed. There you go. So the same brick is used with a height of 20 centimeters and a depth of 25. Next is our mortar thickness. Usually is 1 centimeter. You can enter whatever you want. And the air gap in the middle is 5 centimeters. Now you see, by installing our brick standing up, it gave us a depth of 25 each, times 2 is 50, and the gap is 55. The wall I want to achieve is 45 centimeters, so I'm gonna put this back as a regular installation method using a depth of 0.2 with an overall wall depth of 45 centimeters. Let's do another wall, external again, 300. This time I'm going to use a solid wall. Let's say this is the garage walls. I don't want any special insulation. It's going to be with one layer of bricks, and I'm going to use a thermal brick. Since I have it, I can use it. Thermal 300 by 300 by 200. And this time I'm going to select the standing up installation method. That will give me a depth of 30 centimeters. Mortar thickness again 1 centimeter, and the air gap is 0. I'm just gonna go ahead and complete all the different wall types that we might have in this project, depending on the architectural drawings. For instance, this is an interior wall. I want to achieve a depth of 10 centimeters. So we're going to use this brick and install it in the regular installation method, and will give us a depth of 0.1. It's a solid wall, so no air gap. So in this way we can enter all the different types of walls included in our project. We can enter up to 25 different wall types. Moving on to the project data, and we should start entering all our walls dimensions. First column is just a number or an identifier, just to have a count to see how many walls we have measured. So wall type, from the drop down now it's selecting the different wall types we have already set up in the first setup sheet. So let's do the external walls first. This is 3 meters by 2.9, and the program indeed immediately gives us the thickness based on our setup, the area of this wall, and the total volume including the air gap. To continue entering values, just start typing underneath the last row, and it will open new rows. So again, for our external walls, this one is 5.5 by 2.9, and so on. We'll do the whole list of all the tables from our architectural drawings. And I'm just gonna copy in several values for our walls. So I've entered 29 different walls. So that's how many walls we have in our project. Next, we have to do the doors and windows opening voids list. So the first one in our list, if you have a description or a marking in your architectural drawings, it's a good idea to put it here. For instance, this is an external door number 1. That's the first door in our architectural drawings. It belongs to a wall, the E450, meaning that the opening I'm gonna add here, it should be removed from this type of walls. And this one is 1.5 by 2.4. That's the opening for our external door, 1.5 meters in width and 2.4 in height. Second one I'm going to enter, that's an interior door, exterior door number 2, Again, it's on our exterior wall, and this one is 2.5 by 2.4. Next, let's do a couple of windows. So this is my numbering, the marking on the drawings for each of the windows. These are all windows on external walls and with specific dimensions. And to complete the list of all of our openings, we have one more external door on the garage door, on the garage wall, and then all these are interior doors with their markings on this type of wall types, the 20 centimeter walls and the 10 centimeter walls with these specific dimensions. And basically we are done. That's all the information we need to give to this spreadsheet template, and we should have our reports ready. There you go, our report has been populated. This is a report data per wall type. All the different wall types that we are using are listed here with their areas, total wall area, total cavities, total voids of this on this type of walls, and the net clear brick area for this specific type of wall. The same for all the other types. For each type we have what type of bricks we're using, material, the installation method, if it's regular or standing up, how many layers, each the dimensions for each of the bricks that are being used, the mortar thickness, the air gap, and the total wall thickness for each of the types. And now for the good part, we have the number of bricks that are needed, this type of bricks that are needed for this type of wall, the total volume of this type of wall, and the weight of the bricks. Now, as you can see, we're using the same type of brick type for this wall and this wall. For the I200 and the E450, we're using the same type of brick. So we need another type of report per brick type so we can get our brick quantities. And this is what the last report is all about. Now you can see here the table only displays the bricks that are currently being used. For instance, in our setup we had set up 5 different types of bricks, but in our report we only have 4 types. So for this type of brick, the 30 by 25 by 20, we have listed here the dimensions of the actual brick, the material, and the density, and we have the total quantity needed for this type of brick for any type of wall type, and the total weight of all these bricks, about 1500 pieces of this type of brick will weigh 40,000 kilos. And last, per row we can either add a unit price per piece or per weight. This depends on how bricks are being sold in your area. Let's say this type of bricks are being sold by piece, it's 0.2 each. We will have a total of 300 as a total cost for this type of bricks. You can do the same for the others. This is expensive. Let's say this type of bricks, these last 2 types of bricks are being sold by weight, so that's the total cost for all the bricks used in our project. And at the bottom here we have the last row displaying all the totals, total number of bricks of all the types altogether, total weight, and the total cost. So this is all there is to it. It's very straightforward and simple. You set up your different available brick types, the type of walls included in each of the projects you want to calculate the quantities for the bricks, measure all the walls length and height, and do the same for the windows as well, the openings, doors, and windows, and you have your reports and your quantities ready to go. Thank you for watching.